Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today's video we are going to be taking a look at War 3 of Alliance War Season 20, and this time ASR is up against AGT Graphite, I believe is the name, but yeah, so they're part of the AGT family, and this was a nail-biter of a war. Our opponents were doing splendidly for entire war, and we had quite a rough start as an alliance. So for vast majority of the war we were actually behind, and not just like a single death behind. So we had to have like a lot of inner shake-up and stuff like that during the course of war. But here for section 1, I'm on path 3, and on the path 3 I actually just have the one fight against this Sorcerer Supreme, and obviously she is a stubborn defender, and she has that power gain mechanic where you do have to be careful where in between Mystic Dispersion, her own power gain, well, she can get to level 3, and if she does, obviously, then it's pretty much lights out. So I opted to use Void here because I knew as soon as I get that first Petrified debuff, Void is gonna put in a solid amount of work, and Void was also a good matchup for a fight later on in section 2 that I had to take. Other than that, I have Havoc and Red Guardian with me. I'm actually quite excited to have the chance to use Red Guardian. I really like him as a champion, and here we're gonna see him go up against this Symbiote Supreme, and he is actually pretty much perfect matchup against Symbiote Supreme because the whole Symbiote Supreme shtick is to nullify buffs, to stagger buffs, and to activate his abilities that way. However, obviously Red Guardian not only has class advantage in this matchup, he cannot gain any buffs. That means even if he has maxed out Mystic Dispersion active, I don't care. Additionally, obviously the fact that he can't nullify my dexterity buff even means I'm going to be taking no extra damage, and again, locking that Symbiote Supreme down in the corner, dropping a bunch of heavy attacks, a nice big level 2 there with another heavy attack, some big red numbers, and the fight is over. So very simple fight, very good matchup for Red Guardian over there. And that was it for my contribution for the first day of Alliance War, for the first half of the war. And now already for the next day, I'm going to be going up against Havoc on that Footloose, Kinetic Transference, Crumbling Armor node. And it is a very good placement because there aren't too many great counters against that Havoc. But here is the first mistake that I made entering the fight. Now, I boosted fairly awkwardly on purpose. I didn't activate attack boost. I used 10% small champion boost and the big health boost to be sure, and the reason for that is because the next fight that I will take is going to be Emma Frost, and Emma Frost has Rage active, and obviously I do not want to be hitting hard against a Rage node at all if I'm not using a Mystic Champion to nullify those furies, so I couldn't put on much of an attack boost. I activated Indestructible 3 boost here just in case I do happen to eat that level 3, but the one boost that I did forget to activate was 200% a mutant power boost, and that would have helped me to close out this fight considerably faster. But thankfully now we have the 5-minute timer, so I'm not really in the rush here, and I'm also going to play it probably slower than I should have. I should have tried to get more feedback on, but I was just trying to stay kind of like as safe as I can in this fight. Slow play it fair amount. Here we can see that I'm going to drop my one heavy attack to get some feedback damage in, but at the same time I'm also trying to get a few prowess charges, and yeah, I'm just trying to time everything out perfectly. And in the hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have tried to be a bit quicker, but it's still gonna work out. We're still gonna win this fight. Here we can see that level 3 obviously does significant amount of damage, 64k there. Unfortunately, since it's Havoc, we do not get any plasma detonation damage. But yeah, at this point I realized that I forgot the mutant power boost, and I was like, ooh, I probably should have activated that, because it would have taken me like past 2 bars of power, and I more than likely would have been able to close out that fight then and there. So now I need to build up to at least like level 2. I think I'm going to be trying to build. I'm going to be trying to cut it short, and that level 2 isn't going to crit, and I'm not going to do as much damage as I would hope to. That is just 1 crit. He's still at 11% health here at this point, and the fight is still not over. But at least with these extended timers, I'm not too worried about timing out here. Now I counter his heavy attack with my own heavy attack, place that feedback, and start doing some damage over time. So slowly but surely that Havoc is going down. He's at 1%, and I just ran out of feedback damage whilst he was at 1%, so that was a bit unlucky. But there I just randomly dropped level 1, even though I knew he will block it. But I knew it would be enough to finish out the fight. Unfortunately, since the fight did take so long, my indestructible 3 boost had worn out, so I thought about activating another one since this was really tight war, but I opted not to. So Emma Frost is also a stubborn defender, and that means that I will purposely, for most part, always try to parry her special attacks or block them instead of evading them. Like here you saw me evade, but I soon realized that it's probably much better just to take some extra block damage, especially because Void is a stubborn attacker and he gets that increased perfect block chance. I should kind of like mitigate some of that block damage at least. And another thing is I'm trying to keep a very close eye to those fury buffs, and I'm trying not to really kind of like finish my combos with mediums, and overall just kind of like play it slow, play it careful, keep an eye again on those furies. So long as we don't see any more furies stacking up, I'm perfectly happy. And let the debuffs do most of the work. At the same point, I do not want to get cornered, and that's why I'm trying to maintain some decent level of aggression. But here we have Fear of the Void active, and this is the time when to be careful, especially when I'm going to slip in Assassin's range. We're going to see that as soon as she's going to enter the Assassin's range, my hits immediately start triggering these Furies, and she already ended up at 4 Furies. But I stopped myself from finishing the combo or kind of like being more aggressive than I should have. She didn't go unblockable. I didn't trigger that stubborn, and I was able to finish out the fight. So I was quite happy with that. Went quite smooth. And this was the first time I actually used Void in War last 2 years or so. Definitely haven't used him in this map. And I definitely didn't use him on the last map either. And I think last time I used Void was probably like season 2 or season 3 in War, I think. So yeah, that's many seasons ago. And now Dormammu with Aggression, Promise, and Power Focus 2. And once again, Red Guardian has the perfect matchup here, because obviously class advantage, I can't gain any buffs, and I can play as freely as I like, as freely as I want. I will not get that degen on me. Only thing I kind of have to worry about is pushing Dormammu to level 2. But even if I do have that solid perfect block chance for most part, unless my shield is on cooldown, but still taking it and block a couple of times won't be a big issue because it's not unblockable. And we can see here I'm doing now a good amount of damage with my heavy attacks and drop another level 2, which is definitely overkill, and the fight is over. So very good champion and path assignment from my officer. All of the fights were well planned out, simple. There weren't any kind of like crazy high skill requirement in these fights. It was just good matchup against good nodes, and that's about it. And that's exactly how I like Alliance Wars to be. I don't think that having to go through very difficult fights necessarily mean good planning in Alliance War. Let's just put it like that. But all of those things being said, as I mentioned, this war was extremely close. eventually we did come up with a win. I have to be absolutely honest, I don't think we entirely deserved the win by the way we played. We definitely didn't have a good war, but thankfully our opponents died a bit too much towards the end, and that let us catch up and overtake them. But yeah, that is it. That will conclude the first week of Alliance War Season 20. 2 wins, 1 loss, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys soon. If you like the video, hit that like, sub, all the good buttons, and see ya.